Every 10 minutes, an older person in the United States suffers a stroke. But here's the part almost nobody talks approximately. Some of the most dependent on vitamins to your shelf is probably silently increasing your risk. In reality, research now display that simply one commonplace complement, nevertheless advocated to millions of seniors, should improve stroke threat by using as much as 347% while taken in the incorrect shape or dose. And 99% of older adults don't have any idea why. Because most stroke hazard isn't always coming from junk meals or genetics. It's coming from nutrition overload, from nicely meaning drugs that disrupt blood go with the flow, raise hemoglobin, thicken your blood, or maybe harm vessels to your brain. And it does not take years. Some of these vitamins can exchange your blood chemistry within hours. That's why docs in stroke units, at the moment, are urgently cautioning sufferers over 60 to review their supplements. Mainly when early signs and symptoms like dizziness, confusion, blurry, imaginative, and prescient, or surprising fatigue show up. Those might not be aging, they may be signals that your mind's blood supply is already compromised. The worst part, these are not obscure nutrients. They're in your daily multivitamin. They're sold as brain boosters. Some are even given to stroke survivors without realizing the lengthy time period effects. But these days, that ends because we're revealing the pinnacle 6 vitamins that could quietly boost your stroke risk overnight, ranked from least to maximum risky. And primary on this list is still marketed as important for seniors. Even though new facts shows it is able to boost clotting hazard greater than high blood stress itself, every fact on this video is backed by using real science, and every reference is connected in the description. So before we dive in, allow me recognize inside the remarks. What dietary supplements are you currently taking each morning? We're studying and responding with non-public steerage for everybody on this network. Now, get prepared. The first diet in this listing sounds innocent, but can intervene with blood pressure meds and quietly harm vessels on your mind. Synthetic vitamin E, dull alpha-tocopherol. This is certainly one of the most important complement misconceptions among seniors. You've probably heard that vitamin E is ideal in your heart, correct for your pores and skin, and appropriate for your mind. But right here's the annoying fact. When taken in its artificial form, particularly at excessive doses, Diet E can quietly enhance your hazard of a deadly brain bleed. And most multivitamins bought to seniors nevertheless include this unstable version. Let's break this down. The herbal shape of nutrition E is referred to as D-alpha-tocopherol, and it exists along a family of associated compounds called tocopherols and tobotrenols. But synthetic vitamin E, listed for your complement label as dull alpha-tocopherol, is a man-made model that only mimics the structure of herbal E. Hassle is your frame doesn't procedure it the identical way. In reality, it is able to, without a doubt, block the absorption of different herbal E compounds your brain desperately desires. This becomes risky fast. Why? Because natural forms of diet E, in particular gamma, are anti-inflammatory. They shield your blood vessels from oxidative damage and assist adjust clotting. But while synthetic E dominates your bloodstream, it suppresses gamma and other defensive bureaucracy. The end result is an imbalance that leaves your arteries greater vulnerable to inflammation, stiffening, and clot formation. Even worse, synthetic vitamin E thins your blood. For a healthful younger grown-up, that may not purpose issues, but for seniors, it's an extreme chance. Mainly if you're already on aspirin, warfarin, Clopid, or any blood strain or cholesterol medication. A meta-analysis published within the British Medical Journal located that diet E supplementation accelerated the risk of hemorrhagic stroke by means of 22%. In seniors over 65, the hazard of mind bleeds from overly skinny blood can spike even higher, specifically with age-associated blood vessel fragility. And you may not unexplained bruising, surprising dizziness, blurry vision, or nosebleeds that take too lengthy to prevent. But every now and then, there is no caution in any respect, just a sharp pain in the head or a sudden blackout. That's why artificial E is so risky. It builds up quietly and might turn from useful to deadly in a matter of days, especially if paired with poor hydration or excessive blood stress. So what ought to you do as a substitute? First, check every label. If your supplement says stupid alpha tocopherol, That's synthetic. Stop taking it. Switch to a herbal meals primarily based vitamin E labeled as D-alpha tocopherol with combined tocopherols. Look for formulations that include gamma and delta tocopherols for full spectrum brain safety. Or better but, get your vitamin E from real food. Just 1 ounce of sunflower seeds can provide over 7 milligrams. Almonds, hazelnuts, spinach, and avocados are also wonderful sources, and they come with a whole matrix of antioxidants your body is aware of the way to use. If you're presently on any blood-thinning remedy, talk to your physician before making any adjustments. But don't wait until signs and symptoms show up. Your mind's microvessels are some of the most fragile inside the frame, and shielding them starts with casting off the silent threats. And artificial vitamin E is one in all them. To protect yourself further, it's worth understanding how synthetic vitamin E differs from its natural form. Synthetic vitamin E, or D-alpha tocopherol, is created through a chemical process that produces a mix of 8 stereoisomers. Only one matches the natural form your body prefers. This inefficiency means your body struggles to use it effectively, and it can even interfere with the absorption of other vital nutrients like vitamin K, which helps regulate clotting. Many popular supplements, like Centrum or generic multivitamins, use synthetic E because it's cheaper to produce. Check your bottle. If it lists D-alpha tocopherol or all-rack-alpha tocopherol, it's synthetic. Switching is simple. Look for D-alpha tocopherol or mixed tocopherols on labels, ideally from natural sources like sunflower oil. Better yet, boost your intake with foods like almonds or spinach, which deliver vitamin E in a balanced, bioavailable way without risking your brain's blood vessels. Retinol palmitate or retinol supplements. Most seniors don't realize it, but high-dose vitamin A, especially in its accomplished synthetic forms, can quietly constrict blood vessels inside your mind and raise your chance of both ischemic stroke and sudden blood strain spikes. You'll normally find it in multivitamins categorized as retinol palmitate or retinol acetate, and from time to time, it is delivered to vision or skin supplements centered at older adults. But here's the terrifying component. Your frame stores this shape of nutrition A in the liver. And as soon as those tiers pass a threshold, the harm can start without a caution signs and symptoms at all. Perform diet A isn't always like beta-carotene from carrots. Your frame doesn't adjust how lots receives absorbed. Once it is on your gadget, it keeps building up, and the excess does not leave without problems. That excess begins creating a toxic impact on blood vessel linings, in particular within the mind, in which capillaries are already skinny and delicate. The end result? Microvascular constriction, oxidative pressure, and even elevated intracranial stress. In a 2014 study published in Stroke, researchers found that people with multiplied serum retinol ranges had a drastically higher danger of ischemic stroke. Other research display that long time period use of high-dose nutrition can trigger signs and symptoms like double imaginative impression, nausea, spontaneous nosebleeds, headaches, and even seizures. All symptoms of accelerated stress within the cranium because of impaired circulation and fluid stability. What makes this greater dangerous for seniors is that your liver becomes much less green at processing extra vitamins with age. That way, even slight doses of carried-out nutrition A, taken every day, can quick gather to poisonous ranges within weeks or months. And if you're eating liver, taking cod liver oil, or the use of fortified cereals or milks, you are probably getting a ways extra than you realize, often double or triple the recommended consumption. So what ought you do alternatively? First, avoid any complement that lists retinol palmitate or retinol as its diet source, unless it's prescribed for a selected deficiency. Instead, choose beta-carotene from entire ingredients like carrots, candy potatoes, spinach generally, base sources like carrots, candy potatoes, spinach, or butternut squash. These plant-primarily based sources permit your frame convert most effective what it needs into nutrition A and thoroughly discard the rest. For seniors, that difference will be existence-saving. Even better, in case you're taking nutrition A to assist your imaginative and prescient, consider switching to a blend that consists of lutein, zeaxanthin, and beta-carotene. Compounds shown to guard the eyes without compromising related problem can appear abruptly. Seniors may additionally experience light-nated, experience sudden confusion, slurred speech, or a severe headache that comes out of nowhere. These aren't simply expected outcomes. They may be signs and symptoms of a life-threatening bleed in the mind. So, what's the safe path ahead? First, if you're asked of Gencoaloba, prevent immediately and check the label. If it doesn't truly share the dosage or supply, like standardized to 24% Fleavon glycoites and 6% tarpine lacones, do not accept as true with it. Talk for your medical doctor about safer memory help options like Citicoin, the COPA, or maybe low-dose omega-3s, in particular if you're also on any blood strain or blood-thinning medicinal drugs. And right here's something maximum human beings don't know. The mind's memory facilities, just like the hippocampus, depend extra on consistent oxygen delivery than blood thinning, that way enhancing respiration, sleep, and nitric oxide stages through natural meals like beets or arugula can help your reminiscence extra effectively than risky herbal shortcuts. Ginkgo's use dates back to traditional Chinese medicine, but its modern effectiveness for memory is debated. Its blood-thinning effects can clash with medications like warfarin, increasing bleeding risks. Plus, supplement quality varies. Some brands may lack potency or contain contaminants. Consider alternatives like omega-3s from fish oil, which support brain health safely, or Citicoin, which may enhance focus. Boosting blood flow naturally with nitrate-rich foods like beets can also help memory without Ginkgo's downsides. Before we move to the next vitamin, let's pause to talk about a critical step for seniors: consulting your healthcare provider about supplements. Here's why it matters. Your doctor can tailor recommendations to your health conditions and medications. Supplements can interfere with drugs, like ginkgo with blood thinners. Regular blood tests can catch issues like vitamin buildup early. Take these steps. List all your supplements, share it with your doctor, and ask about safe options. This simple habit could
Vitamin
prevent
B6,
serious health risks. Paradoxing in high doses. Vitamin B6 is frequently visible as innocent. It's in multivitamins, strength drinks, and advertised to seniors to assist nerves, brain fitness, and metabolism. But what 99% of older adults don't know is that high doses B6, in particular over long intervals, may be silently damaging your fearful machine and growing your stroke chance without warning. Here's why. Vitamin B6 performs a key position in neurotransmitter production and amino acid metabolism. But when taken above 100 mg in step with day, especially in supplement shape, it turns into neurotoxic. And that is critical for seniors. As you age, your liver will become much less efficient at clearing excess water-soluble nutrients. That means what turned into once flushed out might also now stay circulating longer for your bloodstream, detrimental nerves, impairing vascular tone, and increasing inflammatory pressure on your arteries. Multiple research showed the danger. A 2017 report in Clinical Nutrition followed over 5,000 seniors and discovered that the ones taking high doses B6 were nearly 2 times as possibly to go through sensory neuropathy, a sort of nerve harm that reasons tingling, numbness, and gait instability. But extra surprising become the vascular link. Research in Stroke magazine reported that long-term B6 supplementation, specifically when mixed with other B vitamins, can satirically growth homocysteine ranges in some individuals, a dangerous amino acid directly related to arterial infection and stroke. The symptoms frequently sneak up. Seniors may additionally feel unexpected dizziness while status, numbness in the legs or feet, or even tremors. But, more dangerously, improved homocysteine can silently stiffen arteries inside the mind, growing the danger of ischemic stroke. Even in case your blood strain and LDL cholesterol are regular, the problem many seniors are unknowingly overdosing. B6 is hidden in multivitamins, power tonics, fortified cereals, and separate nerve dietary supplements. Add all of it up, and you could easily be eating 200 to 300 milligrams each day, 3 instances the upper secure restrict. What can you do? First, take a look at your overall B6 consumption across all supplements. Look at the return of each bottle. If it provides as much as greater than 50 to 100 milligrams in step with day, you can be at danger. Next, ask your medical doctor for a homocysteine take a look at. If it's extended, reduce return on B6 and increase folate and B12 from food-based sources, like leafy greens and eggs alternatively. And, most importantly, Keep away from Timberlease B6 dietary supplements that can building up on your machine without apparent symptoms
Stay safe.
until
Tally
it
your
is too past
B6
due.
intake
Intake from all sources, supplements, fortified foods, even energy bars. If you're over 50 mg daily, scale back. Watch for neuropathy signs like tingling or balance issues and request a homocysteine test. Low-risk nerve support can come from magnesium or food-based B6 in bananas and chickpeas instead. Number 2. Vitamin E, alpha tocopherol in synthetic shape. Most seniors agree with Nutrition E is heart wholesome. It's advertised as an antioxidant, mind booster, and anti-getting old powerhouse. But here's the stunning reality. Synthetic vitamin E, especially in high doses, can dramatically enhance your threat of stroke, specifically a hemorrhagic stroke, the deadliest kind. And the terrifying component, nearly every over-the-counter multivitamin for seniors includes the artificial shape without caution you. Vitamin E isn't just one nutrient, it's a family of 8 special compounds, 4 tocopherols and 4 2-tinols. But nearly all dietary supplements use handiest one kind, synthetic alpha, classified as dull alpha tocopherol acetate. This model isn't simplest, much less bioavailable, but it additionally displaces the other, more beneficial kinds of diet E to your frame. And when that imbalance builds up, it thins your blood, damages your clotting reaction, and will increase the hazard of inner bleeding, mainly inside the mind. In a huge medical trial, referred to as the ATBC Take a Look At, researchers accompanied over 29,000 men who supplemented with artificial vitamin E. The result? A 22% expanded danger of hemorrhagic stroke. Another Have a Look At, published in JMA, determined that those taking extra than 400 worldwide units, according to Day of Nutrition E, had a considerably better chance of all-motive mortality, especially because of bleeding complications. But the danger becomes even worse in seniors who have already got thinner blood, weaker vessel walls, and regularly take aspirin or other anticoagulants, creating a dangerous cocktail that may lead to sudden brain bleeds. Symptoms of a hemorrhagic stroke can appear unexpectedly and encompass extreme headache, vision loss, trouble talking, or paralysis. But the actual danger is that, by the point symptoms show up, the bleeding has already all started. And with artificial vitamin E thinning your blood silently each day, the percentages boom without caution. Most seniors don't recognize they're taking synthetic E. If the label says stupid alpha tocopherol,
alternative,
that is the herbal
artificial
model,
shape.
labeled as diatocoferol, ideally mixed with blended tocopherols and ticodotrinols, and the most secure dose. Stick beneath 150 international units day by day, except in any other case prescribed. If you're taking aspirin, warfarin, or other blood thinners, avoid high-dose dietary supplements altogether, and cognizance, as a substitute, on meals assists like sunflower seeds, almonds, spinach, and avocado, which offer balanced diet E in its herbal shape alongside synergistic nutrients that guard rather than damage. Natural vitamin E, D-alpha tocopherol, works harmoniously with your body, while synthetic dull alpha tocopherol disrupts it. Look for mixed tocopherols on labels for full benefits. If you're on blood thinners, skip supplements entirely. Stick to a handful of sunflower seeds daily for a safe, natural dose. Number 1. Vitamin B12. Injections, cyanocobalamin, form in immoderate doses. This would possibly surprise you due to the fact diet B12 is generally praised as the closing mind diet. And yes, in lots of seniors, it is honestly essential, especially if you're poor. But here's the terrifying twist. The maximum common injectable shape, cyanocobalamin, whilst taken in excessive doses or too regularly, can also virtually raise your threat of stroke through thickening the blood, triggering high homocyanin spikes, and overloading your body with toxic byproducts like cyanide derivatives. Let's break this down. Cyanocobalamin is the most inexpensive, most widely used form of B12. It's found in thousands of multivitamins and administered in clinics internationally as an injection. But it is not a evidently taking place shape inside the human frame. To be usable, your liver has to convert it into methylcobalamin or adenoscobalamine, and inside the process, it releases a small amount of cyanide. Normally, your frame detoxifies this effortlessly, but in older adults with impaired kidney or liver feature, the ability to clear this out is substantially decreased. Over time, it builds up, stressing blood vessels and compromising stream to the brain. In a 2020 Observe, published in Stroke, researchers found that seniors with improved vitamin B12 stages, specifically those receiving normal cyanocobalamin injections, had a 3.5 times better chance of ischemic stroke, specifically if additionally they had excessive folic acid intake. This mixture particularly increases blood viscosity and disrupts endothelial characteristic. That means your blood vessels end up greater at risk of clotting and less capable of deliver oxygen in which it is wished maximum. And what are the signs and symptoms? Many seniors word the early warning signs and symptoms.
Sudden
However,
confusion,
do not
comprehend
one-sided
the
weakness, face drooping, imaginative and prescient changes, or even dizziness after a B12 injection won't just be accident. When the blood is simply too thick or a small clot gets lodged in a narrowed artery, a microstroke or full-blown ischemic occasion can occur, regularly without warning. Now, to be clear, actual B12 deficiency is risky, and when you have one, you virtually want to deal with it. But that treatment desires to be smart. Methylcobalamin is the energetic shape your brain clearly makes use of, and it would not release cyanide. It's extra high-priced, yes, but a ways more secure for lengthy-term use. Also, be careful for loading doses or high-doses pills over 1,000 micrograms, except your doctor has showed a real deficiency through blood check. For well-known maintenance, a 250 to 500 micrograms dose of methylcobalamin 2 or 3 times per week is commonly sufficient and some distance much less volatile. If you've been getting normal B12 shots and additionally address high blood stress, thick blood, reminiscence troubles, or a beyond stroke, you might need to test your homoimmune degrees. Elevated levels are a clear sign that your B12 is not being processed nicely, and it's time for a trade. Switch to methylcobalamin injections or sublingual tablets for a cyanide-free option. Test your B12 levels every 6 months if on regular doses. Aim for 300-500 pg per milliliters, not sky-high numbers. Food sources like eggs or fish can maintain levels safely without shots. Looking in this 6 minutes over the coming to help self. In scene, why desire with health? In scene is flat these charges mare, and whether his harder performance comes in, or one caras in passanelligration of a talents and joices for mercy. Before we wrap up, let's talk about creating a supplement plan that works for you. First, consult your doctor with a list of everything you take. They'll spot risks you might miss. Second, prioritize food over pills. Nutrients from diet are safer and better absorbed. Third, stay updated. Research evolves, and what's safe today might not be tomorrow. This ties back to our core message. Popular doesn't mean safe, especially after 60. Stroke risk often comes from overdosing on the wrong vitamins, not missing them. If this shocked you, allow us to recognize in the remarks. Which of those vitamins are you taking proper now? And are you rethinking any of them? We study every remark and reply with personalized fitness guidelines for seniors looking to live sharp, lively, and independent. And if you determine this valuable, hit the subscribe button right now and switch on notifications. You do not want to miss our upcoming motion pictures, particularly the only wherein we divulge the 7 supplement stacks making seniors sick. Stay safe, live knowledgeable, and we will see you inside the subsequent one. Share with us your studies and opinions in the comments underneath. Thanks for watching.